this whole territory, and further on, the territory of the Forbidden City. Here it shows what you do to pray correctly. What a nice golden grill. Wouldn't be surprised if they were burning the unfaithful there. These things drive around here and invite me for a ride. That's clever. Looks like as if you can flip through the pages. But no, it's stuck on. Security guards are everywhere. They've already checked my passport 3 times. Can you imagine? Some kind of music is playing through the speakers. Well, communist kind. Look at this thing. It's probably as tall as me. 360 degrees view. You can see the entire city from this hill. We've finally got to Beijing. This material has been lying on my shelf for a while, simply because I didn't have the time and honestly I hadn't shot everything I wanted in Beijing. I hadn't visited everywhere I planned and I thought I'd fly in once more to film all that stuff, but for now it's been put off, so it's what it is. Before Beijing I had visited Shanghai, where I was lucky with the weather, which resulted in some pretty rich and eventful videos. Well guys, welcome to my Beijing district. This whole territory and further on is the territory of the Forbidden City. Naturally, there is a million tourists here. When I was choosing a hotel, I wanted it to be located in this historical part so that I could walk anywhere. The hotel I'm staying in real life is not like in the photos. I expected more, to be honest, but I have where to sleep and that's fine. And it's cold. It was -5°C this morning. Now it's somewhere around -1°C. No snow, but it's cold. It will be cold these 2 days, and I'm gonna film somehow. I need gloves. I don't have any, and I don't know if I'll find them along the way. If I find them, I'll buy them, and I'm not gonna spend half a day looking for gloves. Well, let's go and take a look. I hope none of my viewers are confused about the capital of China and know that it is Beijing. Why this city? I think it's worth digging into history to understand how things developed in this country. Beijing was the capital of various Chinese dynasties, including the Yuan dynasty, 1271 to 1368, and the Ming dynasty, 1368 to 1644. These dynasties made Beijing an important political and cultural center of China. Beijing became the capital of the Yuan dynasty, founded by the Mongols under the leadership of Kublai Khan, the grandson of Genghis Khan. During this period, the city was called Dadu, which means Big city. Kublai Khan chose Beijing because of its strategic location and the ability to control the northern and northeastern territories of China. Dada was an important commercial and administrative center that attracted traders and travelers from all over the world, including the famous traveler Marco Polo. Now I'm walking down the street. This whole area is like a low rise. These things drive around here and invite me for rides. So the streets around here are like this. No high-rise buildings. Everything's pretty small. Small not in the sense of being miniature, but in the sense of being not tall. They preserved the buildings that existed here. I don't know what it looked like many centuries ago, but now it looks pretty cool. And walking around, you stumble across these neat tablets with something interesting written on them. I don't know what exactly though. The inscriptions are worn, and those that aren't are in Chinese. And whatever is in English is written in small letters. For our little eyes. And still it's already worn. There are a lot of Chinese cars driving around, and that's cool. And on the inside, to be honest, Chinese cars raise some questions for me. But on the outside, they're very cute. That's clever. Looks like if you can flip through the pages. But no, it's stuck on. And in Chinese, of course. Which we understand, right? Also, for some time, Nanjing was the capital. His name means southern capital. During the Yuan dynasty and the emergence of the Ming dynasty, Nanjing was in a relatively protected location, which helped ensure the safety of the new dynasty. Unlike the northern regions, which could be vulnerable to attacks from nomadic nations, Nanjing was in a safer zone. After the fall of the Yuan dynasty, the Ming dynasty moved the capital from Nanjing to Beijing in 1421. This is my station called Shichachai. Shichachai. Let's see if I can find it. Shichahai. And I need to go from here to here. Here around the station is a huge number of people and a lot of diners. I don't know how many, I think 100 of them here. There are all sorts of local coffee shops, coffee houses, and they're really cool. I just went into a bakery. They make all kinds of cakes and pastries and such. It's also very cool and stylish, already has the Christmas spirit. People come in and take pictures there, and the prices are more or less reasonable. There are a lot of super expensive restaurants where a burger costs more than 100 yuan, which round to $15. There are also those ones on mopeds or bikes who drive up with their boxes. Don't know exactly what they're selling. They cook something which I believe costs pennies. To be honest, I don't buy any of this dubious street food. Why? Because I travel all the time, and God forbid I get poisoned or something, all the tickets, hotel bookings go out the window. So it's better to visit some more reliable places, by which I mean restaurants and cafes. Yeah, of course there are the people who love this street food, but I tend to avoid it. Neither did I buy anything off the streets in Thailand, or in Malaysia, or in the... A guy singing? It seems to be normal here. Yesterday I saw a gentleman singing on the subway. The Yongle Emperor chose Beijing as the capital because of its defensive advantages and strategic location. The city was substantially reconstructed and famous buildings were built during this period. including the Forbidden City, which became the center of imperial power and a symbol of China's imperial authority. After the overthrow of the Ming Dynasty and the rise of the Qing Dynasty, Beijing, founded by the Manchus, remained the capital. Alright, I see something else quite pretty. Okay, stop. I have to knock. Who's there? Who's there? Look at this nice golden grill with the little doors. Who lives in there? Okay. I wouldn't be surprised if they were burning the unfaithful there. Everyone puts so many candles here. I am not surprised that there is this cabinet with fire helmets. Here it shows what to do to pray correctly. How to fold your arms and fingers. Now I suggest you not to take a walk around this temple, but to fly around it. Now we're approaching the Forbidden City. There are so many people like it's a rally. The Forbidden City, it's where the imperial family lived in luxurious palaces surrounded by vast gardens and temples. The complex was an important cultural and political center for centuries. It was called Forbidden because of the strict ban on entry for ordinary citizens during imperial times. Only the imperial family, their entourage and servants had access to this palace. If you dig deeper, the Chinese term is not just Forbidden City, but the Purple Forbidden City. The color purple was associated with the Northern Star, which in Chinese mythology was considered the home of the Heavenly Emperor. Thus, the Forbidden City symbolized the center imperial power. Construction of the Forbidden City began in 1406 by order of the Yongle Emperor of the Ming Dynasty. During the Qing Dynasty, the Forbidden City remained the center of imperial power. It was expanded and decorated. and consists of two main parts: the inner courtyard where the imperial family lived, and the outer courtyard where official ceremonies and state affairs were held. Thus, today the Forbidden City is more than 600 years old. It's one of the best preserved examples of ancient Chinese architecture and listed as a UNESCO World Heritage Site. Guys, I just bought myself these mittens right at the place here in the toilet. No, actually, there is a souvenir shop and a toilet there. Toilets, by the way, are free. That's a plus, you don't have to look for pennies. There is a souvenir shop too, and I bought this. Now my frozen fingers will press the buttons better, though I've been doing well so far. The Forbidden City is a rectangular complex surrounded by a wall and a moat, comprising about 980 buildings on an area of 72 hectares. The city is built with perfect symmetry, reflecting Chinese philosophical principles of order and harmony. There is a myth that the Forbidden City has 9,999 rooms. In reality, the exact number of rooms is unknown, but there are indeed a lot of them. The largest building is the Hall of Supreme Harmony, which was used for important imperial ceremonies. Roofs on the buildings of the Forbidden City were covered with gold tiles symbolizing wealth and power. The decoration often featured dragons, which represented the emperor as the son of heaven. Security guards are everywhere. They have already checked my passport 3 times. Can you imagine? That is, I entered this territory. I mean, all of this here is the Forbidden City, and there is a guard at every, 10 meters. I think there are more guards here than people. I mean, there are people too, of course. More than tourists. Complex ritual ceremonies were held in the Forbidden City. For example, every year the emperor personally performed sacrificial ceremonies in the Temple of Heaven, which symbolized the harmony between heaven and earth. Inside the Forbidden City, canals were dug that served not only for aesthetic purposes, but also for practical needs such as transporting water. The walls of the Forbidden City are made of sandstone. Their height reaches 10 meters. They not only protected the complex from external threats, but also symbolized the boundaries between the Emperor's world and the rest of the world. The colors of the Forbidden City also have symbolic meaning. The yellow color of the roofs of the buildings signifies the imperial power and the center. The red color of the walls and doors symbolizes luck and happiness. The internal courtyard includes the Palace of Heavenly Purity and the Hall of Supreme Harmony, Tai-He. They served as the site for the most important ceremonies. These buildings are decorated with details and building elements reflecting imperial power and wealth.
One ticket.
2. I paid 2 yuan to enter the park. How much does this come to? 30 cents? That's not much at all. Surprising. Shuhang Hall is here, 250 meters. One-day Hall, 410 meters, Emperor's Place of Sacrifice. Ooh, the Emperor's Sacrificial Hall. And the closest is Shuhang Hall. Well, so far it's just like this. That is, well, yes, it's sort of historical, but it's grass, trees, tiles. And you probably can't hear it, there are speakers here. And they're playing some sort of music of communist kind. the Forbidden City in Beijing, there is the Jingshan Park. It's a public park and large garden. It was founded in the early 15th century. Around the same time the Forbidden City was built. It was originally an imperial garden intended for rest and entertainment of the members of the imperial family. It not only served for that purpose, but also had an important symbolic meaning. The park's hills symbolized stability and harmony, which was important for imperial peace and order. Okay, following the signs, this way up to the hill. That's the way up. So, let's go upstairs. The direct route is closed, look. It would be cool to use it. It looks like it was built here a long time ago, and in order to preserve all this historical stuff, they closed it and made a different path, in my opinion. To help you understand what needs to be overcome to take one picture, even more so a video, look how many people. This hill is 45 meters high. It was made from the earth dug out during the construction of the moat around the Forbidden City. It is the reason why this park is also unofficially called the Golden Hill. The hill was also used for imperial ceremonies and festive rituals. The views of Beijing and the Forbidden City open from the top of the hill. Interestingly, the name of the park in Chinese literally means Prospect Hill. At the top, in the slopes of the hill, there are 5 pavilions, each was built for recreation. Jingshan Park can be called the backyard of the imperial palace during the Yuan, Ming and Qing dynasties. During the Qing and Yuan dynasties, there were several buildings here. During the Ming dynasty, there were 5 pavilions on the hill. Their names are also interesting. Cultivation of beauty, everlasting spring, unification of flowers and plants, surrounding views, 10,000 Spring Pavilion. One of the pavilions has a statue of Buddha Vairocana. If you're ever in Beijing, I definitely advise you to go up this hill. It has a 360 degrees view and platform. You can see the entire city from this hill and appreciate its current size. It is gigantic. You can see the end of it. What can we see here? A park, the China Media Group building, the China Zone skyscraper, the International Trade Building, and also Beijing CBC building. But also imagine the historical dimensions. There is a sign here showing how the buildings were arranged. We are standing here on the hill, and this is our pavilion. To the north in that direction is the bell tower, and to the south there through the pavilion is actually the Forbidden City, which we also saw from that side. Jingshan Park was once an important place of worship to the ancestors of the emperors and empress of the Ming and Qing dynasties. It has preserved lots of ancient relics in different halls, the Shuhang, Guanda, and Yongxi halls, the Kuiwang Tower. The Shuhuang Hall complex and the Hall of Imperial Longevity have been restored here. They were part of the imperial buildings used for sacrificial rituals. The lions are certainly beautiful. It's probably as tall as me. Look, the big lion also has a little lion cub. Although this might not be a lion cub. Lion cubs don't look like that. This also has a mane. It pinned him down. These lions are monumental. Of course, it's better to come and see everything for yourself. It costs 2 cents, literally. It will take an hour of your time if you want to be more thorough in taking pictures and visiting places than 2 hours. friends, this concludes my Beijing episode. I hope it was interesting. If you have any recommendations on what else to see in China in Beijing, be sure to write a comment, for I'm planning more trips to China in near future. And of course, don't forget that on our website, maps.com, you can find the most detailed catalog of educational institutions around the world.